Welcome, everyone. This is Pineleaf News, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andang.
Hey, everybody.
Terry Adwin.
Hi.
Maven.
Hey, y'all.
And please welcome our special guest for this week, LOTRO Community Manager, Cordovan.
Hey. How's it going? Nice to see you guys.
Nice to have you on.
And yeah, hear you guys, right, because we're not video.
Well, welcome to the show.
We can
Yeah,
just
it's great to
say
be here,
we're
thanks.
we can just say we're recording it at Turbine. It's fine, you know.
Well, it's if I'm not, I have to be on every podcast, right? So here we go. This is my first time here. I'm thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. And we have a little tradition here at LOTRO Players News, and that is to ask any new quests that we have, how they got into Tolkien, how they got involved with LOTRO, and how they got involved with Turbine.
Okie doke. It's gonna be a moderately long tale
Okay.
for me. So I got into Tolkien through The Hobbit as a kid. I read The Hobbit. There's a hardcover book that I think I got from a local library sale back in the day, and I read it like on a family vacation when I was in 5th grade, and then in 6th grade I read Lord of the Rings trilogy for the first time, and this would have been I don't even know, long time ago. Several decades ago. Yeah, something like what, 2005? Okay, no, yeah, so that's how I got through it. So here's my story about the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I got into it and ate much pizza because of it. So those of you may recall Book It. Are any of you familiar with the Book It program that was around? And I guess it was, the late 80s, kind of mid-late 80s? And it was a thing through Pizza Hut where if you read a certain number of pages, you got a coupon for a free mini pizza from Pizza Hut. And I lived in southern Minnesota. Yep, and I lived in southern Minnesota and was quite the bookworm already. I had already read the entire Dragonlance trilogy, or series by 6th grade. And so I read this program, and I knew I wanted to read Lord of the Rings, so I read the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy and earned myself an incredibly large number of pizzas. I remember the teacher was like, you didn't really read all this stuff. And then I proceeded to give her a very detailed story of the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, which I'm sure she was very pleased to have my precocious sixth grade self read to her. And then I proceeded to fill in dots throughout it looped around several times on the map, and I got a stack of 10 free pizzas, which when you're in 6th grade is pretty much like winning the lottery. So I was just like, yes. And there's my story of how I first read the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I then proceeded, I've read it through front to back maybe 5 times, something around that range, and then I've read various parts of the books and done some start-stops on the trilogy several times on top of that. So I'm familiar with the books quite a bit. I am certainly no Tolkien professor, something like that, but I am not unfamiliar with Lord of the Rings whatsoever. Plus, I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons since really the kind of mid-'80s seriously, and so Lord of the Rings has been a part of my life for a very long time now.
Mid-'80s, was that first or second?
Oh, well, I started with 1st edition, as a matter of fact, yeah.
I know, I started with 0th.
Yeah, it was 1st edition set, and then we did also do 2nd edition, and so on and so forth. So I've been into D&D for a long time. Plus, I like classic rock, and for some reason, Lord of the Rings and Tolkien has always gone well with Hawkwind and things like that. So I just like that stuff. How I came to Turbine is really through the podcasting world on the Dungeons & Dragons online side. I've been a player of DDO since 2006. I started a podcast in 2007. I did 192 episodes of the podcast, and then in 2010 I had the opportunity to work on the community team for primarily Dungeons & Dragons Online. in 2010, and so I was able to move into a position in the community team there, and I've just been working there ever since. I will
Awesome.
say that I have had touch. I've done secondary, I guess what you would maybe call second tier work for Lord of the Rings Online for several years throughout my career. Just kind of helping answer some tickets and dealing with some setting up forum accounts and just stuff over the years under Sapience and Celestrata, less so under Freelorn. He was kind of a one-man ship, and then I was a one-man ship on the DDO side, right? So I haven't had much active dealing with the current game environment for about 2 years, and I've now found myself in a position where I'm able to do community management for both of the titles, and I'm very excited to be here. And I really look forward to doing a lot more stuff with Lord of the Rings Online in the future. So far, during my tenure that I've had here, which has been a little over a month, maybe about a month, I've really been trying to focus on some of the most pressing needs that I see that I have the ability to control, things like forum spam, perhaps dealing with a backlog of just kind of requests and event requests and things that really we've been needing to get back to people on. So I've been at the same time ramping up into the position. So that's really what's been going on through the past month here. But I think I've done a pretty good job of reaching out to people. If I have not reached out to you yet, and you think there's something that uh, you need to get in touch with me about, you can just do that through either of the official LOTRO Twitter, Facebook pages. You can get in touch through the forums. I've got like a forum thread because my PM inbox is broken.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And unfortunately, it's probably going to stay broken for a while. Unfortunately, my forum account is in a particularly bizarre state, just due to having gone through various levels of administration over various systems for 5 years now, and so it's in this really weird state that may just simply not be fixed. But anyway, so if you want to you can get in touch with me though, nonetheless, through the forums, and I would be happy to reach out to you. Please, if I haven't reached out to you or gotten back to you, it may well be that I just don't know that I need to. So please get in touch with me, and I think you'll find I'm pretty easy to get a hold of.
All right then. Now, since we don't have any game news this week, we thought we'd ask you a few questions.
Oh no! I will do my best.
All right, and Anding has the first question.
Yeah, so Cordovan, you posted earlier this week about the Players' Council changes that will be happening, and I was wondering if you could further explain that to people who may not know exactly how that's working. Is there still going to be a Players' Council? Is everyone just going to be on Palantir now? How's all that going to work?
There will not be a Players' Council. They will be on Palantir. That is how that is going to work. Basically, we just went and took a look at the landscape of what we were getting. I went to the devs and I said, "Hey, what do you need? Where are you getting your info from? How are things going?" And it kind of quickly became we had to make a decision about the future of the Players' Council, because the 2015 council never really ended, and I don't think we really did a formal process for the 2016 council, so we were going to have to do something along those lines anyway. But it really just gave us an opportunity to look at the entire preview landscape and say, well, what do we need? And what we are going to need is people on Palantir. And so it just made sense to really, we didn't need two separate programs. They were serving much of the same function. And to the extent the Players' Council got more speculative early stuff, there's no reason we couldn't bring that to the Palantir program. So plus the Palantir program has a good process already in place for onboarding people, and they've been doing it for quite a long time. So it just made a lot of sense to consolidate that effort into the Palantir program. So the Players' Council is ending. I was going to shut the forums on Friday. I just gave them the weekend. I'll shut them off early next week. And if you are a member of the current Players' Council and you think you'd like to get onto Palantir, send in an application to Palantir. Otherwise, the application process will be done as it really has been through the QA team and all that with Palantir. And we'll probably be expanding it. We will be expanding it in the coming weeks, most likely.
All right. Now, what about the DDO side? Is that council also ending?
No, and that's a good point. The reason is we don't have a Mournlands program on DDO anymore. For those who are familiar with our preview programs, Mournlands was similar to Palantir, and that it was in some ways almost like an alpha preview program, and it had its own separate client and all the rest. But through that game's history, the Mournlands server ended up going away and being replaced really with the Players Council, where it's been very effective, and we've had a lot of dev player communications, and we're able to get done our development goals, with the DDO Players Council, in the same way that we're getting those things from both the LOTRO Players Council and Palantir. So it just made sense for us to basically bring those two groups together on the LOTRO side. So we have one program on both that we can manage effectively. And so the DDO Players Council is not going away. We may do some changes in the next year or so. I mean, it's up to us ultimately and the community to decide what they want the Players Council program to be. So, we'll be probably taking a look at things to see what we can do better on the DDO side, but no, it's not going away.
All right, thank you for that. And any more questions about this before we go on?
Don't flood my inbox. There's plenty of time. Don't worry about it.
If somebody wants to join, like they're listening right now and thinking, hey, maybe I might want to help, test LOTRO early stuff with Palantir, what are some of the things you look for a player that's applying?
There would be some people on the LOTRO team that would be much better to answer that question.
Okay, awesome.
That, like Tiber and that in particular, would be a really good person to get on to talk about the Palantir program specifically. So maybe we could save that more detailed conversation for a later show or something like that. But in general, Palantir is a program for those who like to see things early, like to give early feedback. Understand that you're seeing the sausage being made to some extent. So it's not for everybody. But if you're into that kind of early stuff, there's some good public forum posts about what the Palantir program is and how you apply to it. Just look for those. It's just a quick application, and they'll take care of that. We don't need to repeat that here.
So that means
awesome.
then that if seeing a bug drives you crazy and makes you scream, it's probably not the right place for you.
Yes, this is true. And you'll sometimes, I don't know exactly how Palantir went, but I was pretty familiar with the Mournlands program, which was similarly run, both through the QA departments, basically. They had OCR, the community team, did a bunch of work with both Palantir and Mournlands, but a lot of Mournlands really was a function of the QA teams. And on the LOTRO side, it still largely is, although we have plenty of oversight from really the development team who gets information from it, the community team who does a lot of the management of it, and even Sev, executive producer style thing, looking at what's going on over there. So it's a very focused program, and it's really, I want to say it's not for everybody, but at the same time it is for people who are very passionate about the game. So if you have a deep understanding of Lord of the Rings Online and you would really like to be able to provide some good analysis and feedback to us, please check out that forum post and apply.
All right, thank you. So now we'll go to our second question, which comes from Brannick, who does the LOTRO Academy podcast, and he asks, are there any plans for any new hobbies, such as golf?
I don't know, but I'm not aware of anything.
Yeah. No,
I would need to check with the development team to get a better sense of what their long-term planning is. I've not heard anything short-term that would indicate a new hobby, but ultimately that's something I'll need to do a little more research on.
Yeah. I'm betting no, but that's but that's just my guess.
I want minifig painting. I like painting minifigs. That's a nice hobby. What about you could do like popsicles? I mean, popsicle building. You could do like structures. That would be pretty nice.
I want anything other than fishing.
Anything other than fishing. Oh, all right.
What is it? Husbandry, where you do like you take care of falcons and stuff. Falconry.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We'll get there's a question also from Braxwolf who asks.
Beekeeping.
Oh, beekeeping. Oh,
Perfect.
especially considering that we do have all those bee quests.
Yeah, for the bears.
All right. Braxwolf asks, have you done anything intentionally different than previous community managers in regards to communicating with the community? For example, what is your philosophy as a community manager?
I think hopefully people will tell you that I tend to speak honestly and when I can. So that's, I'm not going to lead people around too much, but there may be times where if I don't know, I don't know,
You don't.
But usually I try to keep things open and honest. I try to do my best to kind of serve as a hub for all the community work that's being done by you guys, around the community, and make sure that that gets spotlighted and properly brought to the attention of the team. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I also do serve a role in the development process where it is my job to make sure that your voices are heard when necessary in the development process, and it's always necessary. So.
All right. Though, of course, the other reason why you might not say something is because there's sometimes upstairs is not ready for it to be released.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that'll happen too. But you'll find that the team is actually pretty open with communication. If we want to give as much information to you as we can, because you're the guys and gals who really want to hear this stuff, and so we do want to make sure that we get as much out as we can. But if there are some long-term planning things that that we can't say yet, then we just can't say it yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of things you can't talk about yet,
Yay!
I was wondering when you expect to be releasing information about content that would be coming out towards the end of the year.
I know there has been some preliminary work as to what would be in, say, the next producer's letter. So I know that process has started. I don't know how long it's going to take to get that to you guys and gals. But in terms of what's going to be happening towards the end of the year, I would guess that would be fairly soon. Let's say within the next month. I think the next time we'll be having a good update about what our upcoming content is, something like that. Give or take a little bit, but that's the plan.
Awesome. Yeah, there've just been so many people asking that. I wanted to make sure to ask that tonight.
Right. Oh, maybe it'll surprise us to have a new skirmish.
I don't. Yeah. Like I say, I've been. To be honest, I have been a lot of this past month has been heads down in the forum, like the V bulletin, the back end of things, getting rid of spam, getting consolidating email, getting all sorts of things taken care of. So I've been heads down doing a lot of community work. One of the things I've been wanting to do as well is focus the LOTRO stream Twitch program, because it had kind of gotten scattered, and so that took a little while to do as well. I wanted to talk with the Players Council and figure that process out, so that took some time. We did have some updates, so I did have some release note work and things like that I had put together as well. I wanted to get LOTRO's game launcher feed, when you first boot up the game launcher and what information is presented that to you. I wanted to get that in good shape.
Oh yeah, it's been out of shape.
So and maintain a high quality feed there. So a lot of those things have been where I've been spending this most recent amount of time, on top of doing things like taking inventory of what kind of swag we have and just things, getting reestablished on all the social media networks and all that sort of thing. So in terms of, hey, when are we going to next get a skirmish or something like that, I just don't really have a lot of information right now. I apologize.
That was half a joke anyway, because I have because it's an inside joke. And let's head into our store sales then. Unless there's something you want to say about the store.
Well, I do just want to open the chat room that, feel free to keep asking questions, and we may or may not ask them as the show goes on. So.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the questions, see if we can answer some things. Also, let me get a second window open so I can actually look at chat while I'm doing this.
So far, there haven't been too many questions. There was a question about if you're going to fix a bug that basically on horses where it would break their necks, but I'm guessing
that sounds like a Brannick question.
Yes, that was from Brannick, but I'm guessing you don't know the answer to that.
That would be terrible. Why would we want to do that? I don't want to break the necks of horses. That's terrible. Those poor things.
All right. Well, all right. Well, we wait for some
will they
questions.
be fixed?
Yeah.
Are we talking like maybe perhaps an animation issue, something like that?
Yes,
Yeah,
an
there's
animation issue.
whenever players back up, I think, on a certain type of character, it causes necks to freak out.
No, that was fixed a long time ago.
Oh, that was a
what
different one.
Brannick's talking about is if you have a horse and you turn, I believe it's when you turn to the left, the neck goes really on a sharp turn that would be pretty much impossible in a real horse.
But when you turn to the right, it doesn't do that for some
Yeah, I
reason.
believe it's normal in the right turn. It's one or the other. Since I'm not online right now, it's hard. I can't.
Very specific bug.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. We'd have to take a look at that, see what's going on. Someone says, "Hey, don't burn yourself out." I won't burn myself out. I have been doing this for a while now, and I used to work in very high pressure jobs, like working in the radio and news business. So working to something like the games business is a different sort of cadence, right? And so I'm perfectly fine doing both DDO and LOTRO. As a matter of fact, I'm really looking forward to it because I've really enjoyed Lord of the Rings Online. I've been looking at it from afar for quite a while now. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully taking care of any outstanding issues that need to be taken care of, and then moving forward on a real positive direction here.
All right. Oh, do you know yet when you'll be starting to stream LOTRO? Because I know you do your weekly for DDO.
Yeah, no set time. I am going to do it. It just really I haven't had time to really get started on it yet, but that's something that I will be doing. So I guess within the next couple months.
All right. Then let's look at the store sales. Terry,
Okay.
what's going on?
Free sample this week. Random relic pack ×1. Use coupon code free relic pack 1 time per account. Also, 20% off quest packs, including Far and Orient. This is the first time that Far and Orient, which is the newest zone, has been on sale in the quest packs since it came out.
Awesome.
Mithril coins, yay! 100% XP boost and max morale and power scroll. I don't spend money on that because they drop in Hobbit presents for me all the time. But if you've got the points and you're looking to spend them on stuff, buy quest packs. Or Mithril coins.
Right. Then let's head into our site news then, and we'll begin with the community events in August.
Yeah, they're taking a hiatus through August, so they posted the weekly events, basically what days of the week you can typically find them at. It's actually a really thorough post for the month.
Yeah.
And when they come back in September, they'll have coverage on the Harnkager games, which are in September.
Oh, all right. Any weekly highlights you want to talk about, since at least we don't have to worry about it not applying to the next episode?
Not really. Ales and Tales is always a good one if you're new to the LOTRO roleplay thing. It's light roleplay and it's I just lost my train of thought. It's light roleplay and it's concerts and it's just a fun time, and the location varies from week to week, but they always tweet it out the day of.
Yeah, and it's always a great event every time I've gone. So.
All right, then let's head to LOTRO Academy After School, Episode 7, where apparently bears are taking over.
I love that cover art. That cover art was from Barnabas, and it's OP Furball versus the Creep Raid. As you can see, one Bjorning takes out a whole raid full of creeps, which is fantastic because that's basically exactly what happens in the Morse.
Yeah, I do see a question about, when are we going to see updates to creeps? That too is something I'm going to need to check with the team, sort of see where we sit on that. I know someone's been asking that a couple of times, a creep update. We are getting killed out there with all the new essence gear and legendary
Yeah,
stuff, so.
creeps are the balance is very, very skewed in favor of creeps right now, and yes, it's entirely possible for a single overpowered furball to wipe an entire raid full of creeps.
All right, well, it's something we'll have to take a look at in the future. I don't know what our current status is on that, but if it's as big a issue as that sounds, I'm sure they're well aware of it. So.
I am not exaggerating.
What someone said?
I've seen it happen. I have
Okay,
been
I'm
to
sure,
Oregon
I'm sure.
Stealth.
Yeah,
Last
somebody
work
in chat
standing,
said
'cause-
that, but anyway.
No, somebody
Yeah.
in chat said I was exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. No, because I've been the last work standing because I'm the only one still in stealth and running away.
So therefore, and when you see a raid, are you talking about 12 or 24?
I've seen both, actually.
Ouch!
Yeah, it's really, really sad.
It's bad.
All right, well, it's something we'll have to take a look at then.
All right, and okay, bears. Let's go to LOTRO video highlights. Return to the shadows of Angmar.
Yes, finally. This was a highlight that this video was actually recently released by Bloodborne, and he actually put this out on his channel, and it's just an awesome nostalgia video that takes you back to not only just the feelings of Shadows of Angmar, but also Moria and a few other places. It's just a really great nostalgia video, especially if you enjoyed raiding and things like that back in the day.
Right, and then we'll head to the Annals of the Free Folk, Immortal. And this is another article by Greymaster filling in the events for Tales of the Free Folk.
Which I
Any-
haven't had a chance to read yet.
Yeah, I haven't really had a chance to read it either. So.
Neither have I, but I can see that Gerald is mentioned in this article, which just sends shivers down my spine. So,
Oh, that's very cool. I'll have to check that out in the future here.
Yeah, and
You might want to let Cordovan know what Trails of the Free Folk are if he doesn't know.
yeah,
there.
it's an RPG that we are running. Originally we're running it with the homebrewed system, but we're right now prepping to convert it into the Fate RP system, and essentially it's doing the story of LOTRO, or actually a side story in one that's not one that's part of LOTRO, but our own quest within the world of LOTRO, within a roleplay system.
that we do
Cool.
a podcast of every other week. Basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, very cool. Very cool. Well, hey, I'm into pen and paper.
Yeah. So you could check our backlog and see when we have done the previous season if you want to hear any of that, and we'll be resuming. What's the date ending?
It's in 2 weeks, I believe. So that would be on the 20th, hopefully.
Right, and on the 20th, then we'll resume and see if we get killed.
We'll be totally fine.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Then
going to be a new
I'll
system.
at
I
least be
hope
totally fine.
it's well, it's going to be a new system. I hope that Gray won't be too challenging on us.
All right, so let's head into Critter's Journey Part 34.
Yes, other critters. I actually caught up to critters because I hadn't had a chance to read last week. So I read last week's and then I read this week's. And yeah, I really like this new bit that we're in.
Yeah, it's really good.
All
I
right,
don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it.
and now there's the question, Trial. How did you survive LOTRO?
Which I happened to catch this article just barely because Squirrel posted it right before we went live, apparently.
Oh, I was wondering why I didn't catch it.
Yeah, because it was. I went over to LOTRO Players to see if I had missed anything because I did show notes like 4 or 5 hours ago,
Right.
and this wasn't there. But I always check before we go live. So yeah, this talks about basically asks how do you survive. A lot of other games, not MMO games, but other games you play them in a week and you're done. And it asks some questions about going through the journey that is Middle Earth from Squirrel's point of view.
From Squirrel's point.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool article.
All right.
Neat.
Okay. Now, before we go on, are there any more questions in the chat?
Not that I've seen, but I haven't been paying the closest attention. No, I think we're still good. But yeah, chat room, feel free to ask questions to Cordovan if you have any.
All right. Actually, I do have a question. I was wondering, is there any reason why rewards for, looks like that related to skirmishes especially, were not increased at all when they raised the level cap? I mean, you get the same things you get at level 105 that you used to get at level 100.
No. Sorry, no, I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just imagining Cordovan with a notebook by his microphone at this point and just jotting everything down. Questions to ask on Monday when I get back in the office.
Let me get back to you on that.
Well, and the great thing with Pineleaf is all you have to do is write down Skirmish in big letters and just ask, and that'll basically be all Pineleaf's questions is Skirmish.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we went just didn't increase the rewards at all when we did level cap, I guess it's something that we see on the DDO side fairly regularly. But it depends. I mean, is the intention to scale up? Do you know?
So far, they've scaled all the way to 100.
Yeah, they scaled all the way to 100. Usually, they make an adjustment. Usually, what they have done in the past was to actually rescale the marks, but since all the costs went down at the same time that they did the rescaling, it all fit together. So there was an effective increase. But this time, it was everything stayed the same, and there was absolutely the exact same rewards at both ends, and the drops in skirmish raids that you get at the end, they're still dropping level 100 gear. And so, okay, well, this is useless now. I got that several months ago before they raised the cap.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'll get back to you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
And Southern Belle asks, are we going to see recipes for the new dyes anytime soon?
I have not heard of any
Good
plans
question.
to do that. I can ask. I will put that on my notes list of things to ask about for sure.
That's a good question because it's something that we've been asking for since they decided they were going to do new dyes.
And no, Brannick, I didn't skip your question. I just thought that one was a little bit more appropriate for being put there. But Brannick also asked a question, and basically he's wondering about quest counts in the LOTRO store.
Oh,
Because
he's a big thief.
on LOTRO Academy, they've actually tallied how many quests you actually get in a quest amount from the LOTRO store, or from the actual game when you buy a quest pack, and it actually differs from the amount that's listed in the LOTRO store. And so they've been wanting some type of clarification as to why those numbers differ, if it's counting like extra quests depending on which race you are, or why the quests differ from how many you're actually getting, because the amount you actually get is actually less than what it says you're supposed to be getting in the store for some
like-
quests.
All right.
Right, it'll say over 100, and then he counts 90, 91, 92. Oh, that's
Okay.
it.
I mean, changing LOTRO store descriptions is fairly easy to do. So if we can get a list of which ones you feel are incorrect, we can look into the numbers there, and if they're wrong, we can change it.
Actually, I think they...
And Brannick, you can actually send me that list and I'll pass it on to Cordovan.
All right, but you have to make sure they has the most recent count, because I know that some of the episodes that we did, I know in a couple of them, like the Troll Shells, I think they might have revamped since then.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason, part of the problem why I think some of the previous ones were incorrect is because of revamps, and they didn't recount them, I think. So.
Well, that's one possibility. And I think that part of it is because I have a feeling that they were counting each version separately, even, for example, there was something slightly different because of race or class or something like that. At least that's my hypothesis. I have no idea what the truth is.
Yeah, I would need to look at the content specific sort of disparities and see what the cause of that may be. Some of it may be just related to like the side quest counts or something like that, and some of them may just be a matter of they were keeping separate documents and the number got changed one place and not changed in another. So again, we can fix the store descriptions fairly quickly. So that's not really anything to be too worried about. If there's a deeper issue with that, though, just we can talk about that later.
Awesome.
All right, then let's head into our new player question. And Maven, what's your question this week?
Well, this is a question that was asked in the Girls of Middle Earth stream last Sunday, and it's a great new player question. I'm so glad. I don't know who asked it, but thank you whoever did. Is if you fellow, do you get the same XP and the same other kinds of rewards as you would if you were soloing?
It depends on what you're doing.
No, it doesn't.
Because if you're grouped in a skirmish, you get more rewards.
You get more rewards in a fellowship?
Yeah, in a larger group.
In a larger group, okay.
Well, that's running the skirmish with that larger setting. It's not necessarily...
But for the most part, you get the same amount of stuff.
So out on the landscape or in instances, say if you're running just out on the landscape, say, and you fellow, you're going to get the same XP whether or not as you would if you were soloing the same quest.
Yep.
Yeah,
and that didn't used to be the case,
Right.
but it is now. So.
Right.
Yeah, they changed it back because there used to be a penalty and stuff like that. There were a lot of complaints about. So when Rohan came
Back
out,
when they
changed
introduced
it.
open tapping, it was something
Yep.
that they addressed.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Cool. That's it. Thank you so much.
Right, then let's head into our weekend LOTRO, where we go over what we've done during the week. And Maven, what were you up to?
Am I first? Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I got 2 more tunes initiated into the Ale Association. Yay! So come Farmer's Fair, boy, those kegs in the Shire are going to be leaking all over the place. I've started a slow run through Moria with Moochie and Reckless. So I'm running them together. And I mean, when I say a slow run, I mean literally run. We're at the Great Delving now, so I haven't gotten very far in, but we literally have been like walking it, which is I'm actually enjoying it. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm actually enjoying it. And I got Maven, my lore master's new first agers equipped. Thank you, Flosin and Terry, both of you for those. So she's getting them set up, and I collected a lot of Anphilas scrolls. Where did I get? Oh, when I ran the featured instance last week, I got a lot of scrolls of empowerment. So I'm stockpiling those to get her weapons going. So that was me. Terry, how about you?
Well, I ran Urgarth with the Girls of Middle-earth on Sunday for purely selfish cosmetic reasons. Yeah, because I had discovered that there was a halberd that drops during that instance off of one of the mini-bosses that I really, really wanted to make an outfit with, because cosmetic weapons are a thing. Yay! So I talked them into running Urgarth, and that was great, except it only took like an hour, so we still had another hour to kill. So we started doing Card Doom, and Terry ended up in the day spa.
Oh.
Yeah. I also accompanied Sanswinda, who is a fairly new to LOTRO player, through parts of Volume 3. She's on her main on Landy, who is Sanswinda, a Hobbit hunter, and I took my Elven RK Lashillian, who way back in the day used to run with LOTRO Players Adventures. And so we did the wrap up in around Snowborn of the epic story, and got invited to go to Edoras by AMR and promptly got booted out of Edoras. So she got kicked out of Edoras for the first time ever. That was really exciting. And now they're up questing in Wildemore. It's a lot of fun when you have Pew Pew and Fire Runekeeper, because everything just melts. Sometimes literally, because fire. And then my challenge mini is up to level 94. She's now slightly over-leveled for where she's questing Western Rohan, which is the Broadacres, so feeling a little bit less squishy now than I was a couple weeks ago.
I don't know, because when I tried taking a Runekeeper into Wildemore, it was such a pain. I think I eventually gave up on playing the class.
Well, that's why I'm really, really glad that I have Sanswinda with me, because we kind of end up splitting the aggro a lot. And in a pinch, I can, stop throwing fire and just heal her.
Yeah, there is that.
It works out. So, Pineleaf, what have you been up to?
All right. In my Friday afternoon group where we have the field trip, well, that's weekly there, I was starting out the quest in Tinadir. That's where I quest with, Sanswinda, actually. Yeah, she's getting around on a couple of servers. And so there we're doing the early parts of Tinadir, and we're also doing the quests that you do in order that lead up to the turtle also. So we're doing both of those sections at the moment. And on my Bjorning on Gladden, I completed Central Gondor, which meant that I was running a couple of instances, the epic battle and also the instance after that in Peligir, which is always painful to me. And I have, I'm remembering how you're saying that Yellow Line bears are overpowered. I guess it must not be true in Red Line, because I just get ripped to pieces in those two instances. But I somehow got through them. Yay! Unfortunately, they did not reset on death, which is probably the most important thing on there. But it was like, it's very rare that I could get through those two instances without dying. And then on my Lore Master on Landreval, where I'm working on Volume 1, I was doing the part in Volume 1, late in Volume 1, where you're supposed to go into the Barrel Downs in order to, I think it's some sort of mold you're supposed to get there. And I go into the Barrel Downs in there, and I kill a wight, because you kill wights in the Barrel Downs, and I dropped a page from the Prince of Cardlin, Lore of the Cardlin Prince, and I completed the deed there, I'm saying, wait a minute, I'm level 60 and I'm just finishing this deed. Because that, of course, is a level 20 deed. So I was just surprised when I had a page drop and I finished that right at that point. And Anding, did you have anything to share?
No, Pineleaf. I was so close though this week, but was busy basically ending my internship at a TV station and doing all the stuff as far as getting back into my normal YouTube schedule and things like that. And so didn't have the time to actually play LOTRO this week, but I'm going to be playing a lot this next week, so be on the lookout.
All right. Cordovan, did you have any time to play any LOTRO, or have you been too busy with other stuff?
Too busy with. Sorry. Too busy with other stuff, but I can talk a little bit. I thought this might be a good opportunity to talk a little bit about my experience with LOTRO in the game at this point. So, I played a little bit before it went free to play, just a couple months, and then I played when it went free to play. When I was hired in 2010, I played for a while. I only got a character up to about level 25, so I have a long ways to go in terms of understanding the systems and content of the game. But I have, probably sunk 20 some hours into Lord of the Rings Online, all said and done. So I'm not completely unfamiliar with a lot of the core gameplay and all that too. Of course, there's a lot I need to catch up on, but I want to do that. So one of the things I've been doing recently is watching a lot of Twitch streams. I find it's a very good way to get a sense of the breadth of the game, and there's a lot of good LOTRO streamers out there. So that's been one thing I've been doing, and then I've been trying to figure out, which server should I be on, what class should I play. The only thing I know for sure is I shouldn't do Hunter because I've already done Hunter twice now. So what class should I play?
Minis are good. They're easy. Champions are also super easy.
Minis are really fun, Cordovan, especially if you want catharsis.
It's a lot of fun to run around and just yell at stuff until it kills
Oh my
dead.
gosh. Yeah, it's awesome.
And if you've ever wanted to be an overpowered bard, this is your chance.
Yes, this is your chance.
You're selling this. I like this. Okay.
Yeah,
we can do this. We can do this.
And you get
so
angry
immensely.
hands. Your hands light up, so it's awesome. I mean,
Okay.
it's just like...
All right, there you go. So I will be a
And
minstrel.
be a dwarf, because then he screams,
A dwarf!
Farukazad.
Yeah,
Farukazad! Every
it's
time he
really
does
fun.
it. Yeah.
And if
A
you play on
dwarven
Landville,
minstrel,
I can
okay.
hook you up with all the cosmetics.
Oh, yeah. Do it on
Wow.
Landreval.
Yeah. Okay. That's a possibility. So
Plus, do
yeah.
it on Landreval, because then you can stream with Corey when he does Grifflet on Fridays. That'd be fun.
Yeah, but I think Cordovan has don't you have the DDO stream just before Corey goes on?
Oh, probably.
Because
I
Corey
do.
goes on at 1, and I think you're at noon right now.
Yeah, that's right. So I haven't been able to watch his show quite so much. I am planning to do a live stream of my own. I don't know what form that's going to take because I don't really know how interested people are in seeing me run this lower level content. So perhaps there's more of an opportunity to have like a talk show segment and do more Q&A, perhaps bring in some devs and all that sort of thing while I'm ramping up and learning. But I don't know. I'm kind of open to whatever.
Well, I know
That would
people
be
have
great.
been.
We love being able to talk to the devs.
Yeah, I know people have been asking for a long time to just have more and more, as many dev chats as possible. So that's definitely something that a lot of people would like, I think.
All right, we'll do our best.
Right, then we have another question from Fredoles as, what's one of the most rewarding experiences you've ever had as a community manager?
Probably it's when it's probably the few times, there have been a couple of times where like some younger kids might have visited the office, and they're interested in doing this kind of work, and so they get to sort of see what it's like to make these games be played and all that sort of thing. And it's really rewarding to kind of be able to look at those kids and get them to understand, it's like, hey, I can actually do this. This is something that is open to me if I want to pursue the work, right? So that's very rewarding, doing community work. Otherwise, it's really just a matter of being able to get communities off the ground and independent. I'm thinking about, like, say, live stream communities. I think we've done a pretty good job on DDO stream creating a core community. LOTRO stream seems to be doing that. I just want to make sure that people who are passionate about the games, continue to be able to meet, hang out, and have fun together. And whatever I can do to facilitate that is really important, and it's rewarding. It just sort of being able to make that stuff happen is really good.
Awesome. And back to our previous discussion about having devs on, Beardoin has a suggestion. They say that I'm a sound media student here and would love to have some of the sound guys on a dev stream one day.
Ooh, that would be cool. So way back in the day, it never got off the ground, but there was a Turbine podcast that had been recorded.
Wow.
And in that podcast, 42, who I know worked on LOTRO, you may be familiar with that name, and I talked to the sound guys as they were recording things, and we have about 17-20 minutes of audio there. So perhaps I could find a way to release that at some point.
That would be awesome.
Well, yes, otherwise, they tend to be busy, especially as they ramp up for things that would require much sound. They tend to be pretty busy. But, do my best. Yeah.
All right, then let's head into questions in the dark. And this is where we sort of play 20 questions with figures from Middle-earth.
This is where I take a nap.
Yes, that's where Terry takes a nap. And therefore, I'm thinking of someone from someone from Middle-earth, from the world of Middle-earth. And you got 20 questions to figure out who this person is.
Wait, am I supposed to do this?
No. Oh, I guess because Aerother used to pick up the ball.
Aerother usually starts the questions off, but
yeah, so everybody's waiting for
so this
Aerother.
is just some random character in Middle-earth. We have 20 questions to figure out who it is.
exactly.
Okay. Is he known for wearing hats?
That's awesome.
No. Okay. Well, is ideally you'll go through various people asking the questions. So.
Okay, finally. Wow. Is this character alive at the end of the Third Age?
No.
Okay, then. Is this character alive in the Third Age?
Yes. As I said, we don't want one person asking all the questions.
Well, I can't think of anything to ask, so
You can't
Don't
even
feel-
think of that. Okay.
don't be shy.
Is this character a tall person?
Yes.
Is this character an elf?
No.
Does this character know magic?
No.
Is this character a free person of Middle-earth?
Yes.
Is this character the race of man?
Yes.
As a society, are they used to a lot of horse poop?
I wish Aerother was here. He'd be having a great time.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Is this person located on the east side of the Misty Mountains?
No.
So, somebody on the west side of the Misty Mountains that is not alive at the end of the Third Age. That's the race of man. That does not wear hats usually. Maven, do you got a question?
I can't think of anything so far.
I like the question that Southern Bill says in chat, which is this someone in the book or only in the game?
Yes or no question. So is this somebody in the book?
All right, I want to hear the exact phrase of your question.
Is this character in the book?
Yes.
Is this character in the game?
Yes.
Is this character a Dunedain?
No.
Is the character a Gondorian?
We already
No.
said west side of the, or east side of the Misty Mountains.
Oh.
Does this character reside in Bree?
Yes.
Wait, that's west of the Misties.
Exactly. He said it's not east. Or no. Yeah.
Yeah, you asked if it was east, and I said
And he
no.
said no. Yeah. So it's probably either Butterbur, Bill Fernie, or somebody of that type of nature. Does this character...
All right, well, how many questions do we have left?
Pineleaf?
What? Oh, yeah, 5 questions left.
All right, so what can we do to differentiate, like, to rule out Barlaman and Butterbur?
Well, if they
I don't.
own a bar.
Hasn't he already been? I mean, I don't know that there's a rule against it, but hasn't he already been one of the things?
He
I don't
has
think
not-
so.
He has
Oh,
not
okay.
been one of the choices.
Oh, okay.
So the question we should perhaps be asking is, does he own a bar?
Or does he own
There's a good-
the Prancing Pony? Yeah.
All right, that's your question?
Yeah.
Yes, Pineleaf.
All right. Yeah. Okay, because I was just remember is I did say he was not alive at the end of the Third Age, so
Oh, that's true. Well, then that's not our question, Pineleaf.
sorry, it counts. If you're forgetful like Barleyman Butterbur,
Well, yeah, that's our problem. Maven, this is all you.
I am trying to think of a man west of the Misty Mountains that's not alive at the end of the First Age.
Third Age, but
I mean, at Third Age. And I can't think of anybody. I mean, because, Grima is not from there. I mean, he's certainly not alive at the end of First Age, but he's not from there. And he's in the book. How many men did we have from the west of the Misty Mountains in the book?
Veronica's a good thing. Have we ruled out women?
we haven't.
How many women are west of the Misty Mountains?
That's the other thing.
Let's burn one of the questions on that. Is this character a woman?
no.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's good.
It could be Harry the Gatekeeper. It could be Bill.
Goatleaf could be, but I don't think both of those guys didn't die though.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I suppose it could be the unnamed brigand chief in the Scouring of the Shire, right? No, yes. Was there a guy that they offed? I'm trying to remember the fight.
Well, they are a free person in Middle Earth, so they're probably... I mean, they could be a man still, I guess, but... I mean, they could be evil still, I guess, is what I meant to say. But,
Yeah.
This is a tough question, Pine.
How many questions do we have left?
So, do we
You
know
have
that this
3
person
left.
do we know that this person is from Bree?
We do not.
We said that they reside in Bree, so... And the
Oh, we
answer
do know
was
that they
yes.
reside in Bree?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Jeez. Who else do we meet in Bree? It's a man.
And they're in the Lord of the Rings online. We
And in
also
the book.
confirmed that. And in the book, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
blanking on men. I just, hobbits. I could give you hobbits. Of course, there aren't any hobbits that I know of in Bree that were dead at the end of the first age. So a third age. Sorry, I keep saying first age. I don't know why. God, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. Good work, Pineleaf. Can I make a call? Corey!
we need a
I'll
Tolkien
text
professor.
Corey.
We need a
We need
Tolkien professor
Corey.
hotline, just like in the
We
middle
do,
of this.
we do. I should tell him that he has to be on standby on Saturday nights.
See. So no one in the chat has been typing in clues for you?
Well,
Have they?
chat says Fernie or Harry, but I'm pretty sure that they're both still
Alive at the end of the third age. Yeah, because I don't think they die. They kind of just slink away into oblivion. I'm useless.
Yep, I'm out of luck, out of ideas.
Okay.
Was it Sauron? Is it Sauron?
I am not even going to answer that one, considering how Sauron is about 5 times removed by now, eliminated by
Yes,
now.
I know. I know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't, because if it's someone who perhaps died, I what do I know? I can't think of any of them. If they're dead.
Terry, do you know?
What?
She's trying to wake up now.
Nope, I give up.
All right. Everybody surrenders?
Yes, Pineleaf.
Very well. The answer is Matt Heathertoes.
Who?
Yeah. What? We would have never got that.
Matt Heathertoes is mentioned by Barliman Butterbur as having been killed at the end of the book. When Barliman Butter is explaining the troubles in it, you do meet Matt Heathertoes inside of Beggar's Alley in LOTRO.
They are, yeah.
And you see him killed at the end of Thievery and Mischief.
All right, Pineleaf, you know way more about LOTRO than we do. Let's do one more, Pineleaf.
You know, so it's skirmish related.
Yeah, right. I didn't miss that part.
Let's do one more, Pineleaf.
All right.
No. That was fun, though.
I will. All right, I'm thinking of a person from the worlds of Middle Earth.
Is this character a free person of Middle Earth?
Yes.
Do they have hairy feet?
No.
Is this character the race of man?
Yes.
Is this character on the east side of the Misty Mountains?
Yes.
So that means Rohan, Gondor, somewhere in there.
Does this person shoot things with a bow?
No.
Is this a townsperson?
No.
Is this person from the land of the Horse Lords?
Yes.
Is this character a woman?
Yes.
Is this character of royalty?
Yes.
Is this character in LOTRO and the books?
Yes.
Pretty sure I know who this is, but I'm going to go ahead and keep asking a couple more questions.
Just to narrow it down a little further.
Just to make sure, because there's
Just
so
make
many.
sure I didn't sneak in
There's
somebody.
so many Rohirrim women, but let's
Yeah, all those Rohirrim women you meet.
Of royalty.
of
Of
royalty.
I mean, actually, in his earlier
That's true,
draft,
yeah.
there was actually his daughter, but I think we're not doing that, so that's that's ruled out.
Is it with
Besides,
Pineleaf? Is it with Pineleaf?
Well, first off,
It has to be in the game as well.
it has. I did say
That's
in
right.
the game.
You did say in the game. That's right.
All right, is this Eowyn?
Yes.
Oh,
Awesome.
Ooh.
he took pity on us.
He did.
Took
I
pity
mean,
on us.
As soon as we found out they didn't have hairy feet.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought that after Matt Heathertoes, I had to be light on you.
You were. That was kind.
How many questions was that, Pineleaf?
11.
And that's only because we stretched it out.
Yeah.
All right. We currently have 27 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to join this illustrious rate of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you could support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention of the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us here on LOTRO Players News. We do have a featured comment this week from Ereniel and Andang. What did he say?
Yes, well, they said, I have a very Pineleafian question.
Ooh.
I've been thinking of buying a skirmish lately, because after you've done Siege of Gondomar 4 times, it gets a little boring.
Well,
But
how
I'm-
many times did you do Techborough, though?
it doesn't say Pineleaf. But I'm not sure which one I should get. I don't have any of them unlocked, but the 3 free ones. Which one do y'all suggest I get?
I guess the first question is, what level are you?
That's
And
a
the
good
reason why
question.
that's an important question, because if you're currently questing in Moria, you're about to unlock some more free ones. If you're a long way from Moria, then your main option then will be to purchase them if you wanted to have something to do before you get to Moria. But if you're
Assuming they're doing the epic story through Moria. Because it does take a little while to get to that particular...
Yeah, it
unlock.
does take a while in order to get to Moria and then to Mirkwood, because you unlock a ton of skirmishes in the Moria and Mirkwood epic stories. But let's say that you're not up to that point yet you're still below level 50. In that case, which skirmish do I recommend? Well, there's always Thievery and Mischief, where you can see Mad Heathertoes get killed.
Really Pineleaf. Just rubbing it in. All right.
No, seriously, Thievery and Mischief is a full version of the one that you got to see during your
It was the first
tutorial. Yeah, during the first year two tutorials. The second tutorial, which is the defensive skirmish, there is Defense of the Prancing Pony. So part of it will depend on would you rather have a offensive or defensive skirmish? Because if you prefer an offensive one, then you have Thievery and Mischief. Defensive one, Defense of the Prancing Pony, and of course, if you want one of each, then you do both of them. And the other reason why I ask questions is, for example, if you're not yet up to level 40, then you're probably not then I can't recommend any of them that require you to be at least level 40. Now, there are a couple of them that are tougher than the other ones. Like, for example, the Icy Crevasse is the most challenging of them. If you're looking for a challenging skirmish, then Icy would be a good way to go. If you'd rather have one that you could relax through, then you're more likely wanting Thievery and Mischief over that one. Attack at Dawn is also a little bit more challenging because things can get out of hand, but when you master it, you could rip through it. Though I don't know about you. Do any of you regularly rip through Icy Crevasse?
Not
Okay,
regularly.
Yeah, I have been. I've been doing it pretty regularly.
Do you rip through it? When I say rip through, I mean
Oh, rip
it's
through
all
it?
easy. When I say rip through, I mean you go through it very quickly and you never get killed or get the danger of
Yeah,
getting killed or anything.
I can get through it. But I'm on a lore master, so basically it's like having a 3-man because I got my soldier and I got my tanky links, right? So
Right.
it's and I can if I run it at tier 1, fast, I can get through it really fast.
Oh, okay.
Run at tier 2, it takes me a little bit more time because they got more morale points, but there's also more rewards. But I can get through it
Right.
pretty quick.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can go
okay.
through IC pretty quick too on Terry.
That's right. Terry is able to rip through it.
That's right.
It also partly depends on your class, of course, because the ones with huge mob counts like Icy and Attack at Dawn. If you've got someone like a champion, you probably be able to rip through it. If you are a very strong single target,
Yeah.
then you may have trouble with it. If you have trouble, for example, with trouble in Tuckborough, then I would not recommend Icy Crevasse or Attack at Dawn because they have the same mob counts as Tuckborough, but a little bit more challenge added to the mix. If you find trouble in Tuckborough you just rip through it. Oh, yeah, the counterattack's in there. Oh, nothing easier in the world. Then, yeah, you might want to consider one of those.
And this has been your free trial of the Pineleaf Consulting app.
I'm trying to remember. With Icy Crevasse, I get a lieutenant in every counterattack. That's not true with Tuckborough, but I don't know.
Oh,
it
no.
may be that there's the same number of lieutenants, though. It's just there's
In
more.
Tuckborough, actually, Tuckborough, I believe, has more lieutenants overall than Icy
Oh, they do.
Crevasse does.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
because
because
those guys at the end. Yeah.
but that's only if you're doing a group run.
Oh.
In
that's
solo
true.
runs,
Yeah,
you
I
don't get
didn't
extra.
think of that. That's
Tuckborough is when the ones where I see the most lieutenants is actually breaching the Necromancer's Gate and Assault and Ringwraith's Lair. Those tend to have a huge number of lieutenants in them.
Right.
But of course, those are epic ones, and therefore they're outside the
Yeah.
scope of the recommendation here.
Right.
But Tuckborough has a pretty high lieutenant count.
The other
but
thing with
there are very few
Crevasse is I'm
lieutenants-
seeing
Yeah.
I see a lot of different lieutenants too in Crevasse.
Yeah, the
where I'm
Crevasse-
getting more like getting the blood air. What is it? The flying the bird.
Yeah,
Blood arrow,
Bloodrook.
Bloodrook,
Yeah.
and the spirit dude, the purple guy. Get a lot of those.
Yeah, there are. Icy Crevasse has a pretty large mix of lieutenants. Tuckborough
only
has a
saying
very,
that
very
if-
small one.
That's true. If you want to go for that deed, or I suppose if you want to concentrate on one, go for Tuckborough and just keep running and get, that same lieutenant
Get those.
to get the
yeah.
deed. Yeah.
And for
Anyway.
Gondaman, for example, Gondaman is the only skirmish that features all of the lieutenants.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, Thievery and Mischief and Pony, the only one missing from those two is the Flesh Gorger. So therefore, they almost have all of them.
Huh.
But yes, the Flesh Gorger only appears in Gondaman, Fort of Bruinen, and Rescue at Nursgashu. It's sort of like the three that some people are least likely wanting to do, because Ford, you always have the brothers getting killed on you, which is why I'm not recommending that one necessarily unless you what a bit of a challenge from keeping somebody alive.
Suicidal Sons of Elrond.
Right. And the Rescue at Nurse-Gashu, since the Flesh Gorger is a group-only one, you can't solo Rescue at Nurse-Gashu. You can't solo the boss fight because of the mechanisms involved in the boss fight. It requires you to complete a fellowship maneuver in order to finish that. You can get as far as the boss fight because eventually the ranger gives up and lets you through. But you can't do the boss fight without it. And that's also a skirmish that's very easy to fake. Rescue. Yeah. So you'll learn that when you get to Volume 3 of the Epic Storyline. And then Gondaman, well, the person sending his Ereniel is himself is saying he's getting tired of Gondaman, so obviously. Yeah. So therefore,
I think Belka Union has it right. You definitely sound like you should have a fancy mustache on. I could, like, some kind of thing you could twist a little bit. It's like, let's make plot.
All right. All right.
No, it's great advice, though. So, kind of back to the core question then. What should this person buy next?
All right, that's what I was thinking. Thievery and Mischief was my baseline recommendation, assuming he doesn't have any further information that could help me narrow it down, because I think that's one that's a good one. Background in the a good solid background in the lore. It's set place in Bree, which is one of your early locations. It unlocks. Okay, it doesn't unlock till level 30, but okay. I'm presuming if he's run Gondaman a couple of dozen times, he's probably 4 dozen times, and I'm pretty sure he's up to level 30 by now.
Brannick says he did mention Gondaman, so Defense of the Prancing Pony might be better. That seems like it'd be
the question is, I was thinking that he might be tired to the defensive skirmishes, but yes, if he prefers defensive skirmishes, and that's why he didn't say anything about Tuckborough, then yeah, Pony would be better in that case.
Cool.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, straight from the Skirmish Master's mouth.
Yes, Skirmish Sultan, Pineleaf Needles.
Note to self,
That's right.
ask Pineleaf about skirmishes.
Now remember, Cordovan, Pineleaf asked you a question about skirmishes early in the show.
All right. If you want to contact us, you can email us at podcast@lotraplayers.com. You could also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, Lotro Players @LotroPlayers, Anding @AndingLP, Arathert @Arathert, Carvet @CarvetLP, Maven @TolkienMaven, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, Terry Adwin @Terry Adwin. And you could follow us, our guest, at
Jerry Snook on Twitter, at Lotro, just for both Facebook and Twitter. You can find me on YouTube, doing stuff there. Twitch.tv/Lotro stream is the place to find all the Lotro live stream stuff. We're going to be really launching that in a big way. We already are. It's already happening. If you've not tuned in the last couple of weeks, you missed a lot of people and a lot of streaming, so you should check that out. Otherwise, we're getting ready, like I said, to do some kind of producer's letter, let's say within about the next month or so. We are full speed ahead on development of 19, and yeah, so there you go.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we could then. I guess I'm thinking 19 is the one where you start on the. I didn't know if is 19 something is the one that's supposed to be coming out late this year, early next year, or is there 19 going to be sooner than that, and 20 is the one that's at the end of the year.
I turned to narrow, but I would say that this is planned for the fall. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's right because I think the one at the end of the year was the one we're supposed to start the March to Mordor, so that means there might be another one before then.
So there might be more doors added to Lotro.
there's more stuff that needs to happen. Like, for example, for all the grinding I'm doing to get the extra three levels of rep in Minas Tirith, I'm expecting there to be some rewards for that.
Okay. Rewards from Minas Tirith.
Yeah, you know, they added the three extra layers. I mean, I'm getting a title. That's awesome. But it's 3 more rep levels, and but I'm assuming that people are going to show up. You know, I mean, I have faith. I have faith that there will be some rep. Not rewards, but you know, like barters, like rep barters stuff for those levels.
All right, well, look into that. It's cool.
That'd be awesome. Thanks.
Yep. So yeah, I mean that's really what we have. I'm going to leave it up to Sev to do most of the content announcement in terms of the what's happening when, but that'll be coming. Right. It's something we've been pretty busy, with 18 and patches over the past month here, and now we're really starting to turn our attention to long-term planning in the future and all the rest there as well. So you'll be seeing a lot more information about kind of what that all means here, in the coming months.
Awesome.
Right. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DO Players News. On the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Academy After School. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. And every other Saturday after LOTRO Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk starting August 27th. You join us for a live...
off a week, Pineleaf.
So I see. Yeah, you join us for our live shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And this is Pineleaf News reminding you to skirmish responsibly.